Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to our bonus episode, Lurking in the News Volume 5.
Yeah, we're trucking right along
Yeah,
here. Volume 5
I
already.
know. It's crazy.
That is crazy.
And this is going to be a juicy episode
Yeah, I had no idea how loaded my cases were.
because, yeah, a lot happened in the months of June and now going into July. A lot of big, juicy stories in the news.
Yes. I have been so busy, I haven't been paying attention to any of it. So these are all news to me, probably.
Maybe.
But I will kick us off, which this was a case to me that I was not aware of, with Caitlin Harp. Caitlin Harp was a 33-year-old. She had been missing in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania since June 19th. It was her sister Heather Lane who reported Caitlin missing on June 20th. The two sisters talked daily, and when she had missed that phone call is when Heather became concerned. She seemed to be the one who was the most active in the 9-day search for her sister. On June 29th, Heather Lane was the one to discover the green metal box located on Harp's husband Vincent's previously owned property, which was a 40-acre dense forest. This box had to be cut open, and the decomposing remains of Caitlin Harp were discovered. It was reported that the box was found, quote, on the mountainside 180 yards from the cliff and just slightly north of Vincent's property, end quote. The couples reportedly had a fight on the 19th, and Caitlin left, according to Vincent. Phone records show Vincent in the area 2 separate times where the body was found on June 21st. Caitlin's Life360 app hadn't updated since the 19th as well. Vincent sold a UTV on June 24th that was discovered to have blood on it. Local police spent 2 days interviewing family and friends before getting PA state troopers involved. State troopers interviewed Vincent a second time because some of his timeline of events weren't lining up. And at this point, troopers had found footage of Vincent at a gas station getting gloves on the night of her disappearance. There was also footage of Vincent driving his truck with the green metal box in the truck bed on June 20th. Vincent was arrested on June 29th without incident. He is charged with homicide, abuse of a corpse, and tampering with evidence. And that's the last update we have on that.
Yeah, I remember seeing articles all over about her case and her being missing and being found, and everyone was already speculating it was the husband. Because what previous wife of his died too. I don't know what all the circumstances are behind her death, but now he's had two wives dead. I don't think
Yeah,
that's a
a little
coincidence.
fishy.
Yeah,
No, that's a little fishy.
yeah, it is. And sorry for all the nature sounds in the background. If you hear them, I'm recording outside for this one.
It's the wilderness.
Yeah. There was a bird that just kept making the same sound when you were talking, and I was like, oh no.
Shut up, Mr.
Yeah.
Bird.
All right. Next up is Crystal Rogers, which we might have to cover this case at some point. But Crystal Rogers was a 35-year-old mother of five who vanished overnight on July 3rd, 2015, in Bardstown, Kentucky. She was last seen by her boyfriend on July 3rd, Brooks Houck, at his family farm. Houck told police at the time that the couple had gone to bed together, but when he woke, she was gone. Crystal and Brooks share one son together named Eli, and then the other 4 children are to someone else. Crystal was reported missing by her mom, Sherry Ballard, on July 5th after multiple calls went unanswered. When Sherry questioned Houck, he said she left in the middle of the night on the 3rd. Crystal Rogers' red 2007 Chevy Impala was found abandoned with her keys, phone, and purse inside later that day on July 5, 2015 at mile marker 14 on the Bluegrass Parkway in Bardstown with a flat tire. This led investigators to believe foul play was involved in her disappearance. Crystal's brother, Casey Ballard, noted that the driver's seat position and the back of the seat were different from how she typically drove, suggesting she may not have been the one driving the car to that location. Her body has still never been found. So there's a lot of details in this case, and the investigation spans the entire 10 years since she went missing. So kudos to Bardstown Police for actually taking an investigation seriously and doing their job. And the FBI even got involved in 2020. There were 3 men at the center of this investigation: Brooks Houck, her boyfriend, Joseph Lawson, and Stephen Lawson. Joseph's dad is Stephen Lawson, and he worked for Houck. I don't know if it was currently or just previously. It's not really clear how the 2 men are involved in Crystal's disappearance, but it seems like money may have been a factor, like they were paid off by Houck. Prosecutors argued that Houck is responsible for the murder of Crystal despite not having her body. Throughout the trial, prosecutors portrayed a plot to kill the 35-year-old mother led by Houck with help from the Lawsons. Prosecutors never shared an exact motive, but they noted that their relationship was strained and that Houck's mother, Rosemary Houck, disapproved of Crystal having children prior to them dating. And his mom is a piece of work, I'll just say that. A witness,
Oh, nice.
Yeah. A witness once testified that she asked Houck why he stays with Crystal despite their issues, and he said, "Because I won't lose Eli." So it seems like he wanted Crystal gone, but wasn't willing to lose his son over a custody battle. It's suspected that Joseph Lawson drove Crystal's car to the parkway, explaining her seat in the wrong position, making it look like she left on her own, but then got the flat tire and called his dad to pick him up. But investigators did not actually find any DNA from Lawson in the car, but cell phone data proved Houck lied to investigators early on in the investigation about his whereabouts the day Crystal went missing, and several witnesses came forward to testify they heard the Lawsons talk about the alleged crimes. In May of 2025, Stephen Lawson was convicted of conspiracy to commit murder and tampering with physical evidence in a separate trial connected to the disappearance. During that trial, he admitted to picking up his son from the side of the Bluegrass Parkway and calling Houck, at his son's request, to tell him the job of moving the car was done. A jury recommended he spend 17 years in prison, though his final sentencing is set for August 6, 2025. And then just recently...
Okay, that's coming up.
Yeah, it is. And just recently on July 8, 2025, after 10 days of proceedings and roughly 4 hours of deliberations in the Crystal Rogers murder trial, Brooks Houck, 43, was convicted of murder as a principal or accomplice to the crime and complicity to tampering with physical evidence. Joseph Lawson, 34, was convicted of conspiracy to commit murder and tampering with physical evidence. The jury recommended a life sentence for Houck, plus an additional 5-year sentence for the tampering charge to be served consecutively, and a 25-year sentence for Lawson, the maximum for both individuals. Final sentencing is set for August 21st, so that's coming up. Lawson, though, is already planning to appeal because the men were tried together. His attorneys argue Lawson should be tried separate from 43-year-old Brooks Houck and that there was a spillover effect that impacted Lawson. And then his dad also requested a new trial, so we'll see what comes of that in August.
Yeah, a lot gonna happen in August with that one.
Yeah. So that's kind of where we're at with that. At least how, I mean, it's pretty, I know they don't have a body, but there's plenty of evidence that I didn't go into because obviously this is just a quick news update, just to say that he was charged. But we'll have to cover her case at some point. There's a lot of interesting details.
Yes, for sure. My next case is Kevin An. Kevin An, 31 years old, was arrested in late March after his 61-year-old mother, Hyun An's body was found in the back of her SUV. It was found on June 24th, parked outside of Stiegel Manor Apartments on Fruitville Pike in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania.
Which, I don't know if you looked it up, but
The
you
body
lived right
was
next to
found.
that when you lived in Mannheim.
I know I did. I know
Yeah.
I did.
Which
When
is
I
so crazy.
saw it, I was like, wow, I know that
Yeah,
place.
you live right next to a
Like,
murderer.
oh,
It's so crazy.
yep. You know, I was just minding my own business
Yeah.
then. Same as I am doing
Yeah.
now, 10 years later, going strong. Um, the SUV was found on June 24th, parked outside of those apartments on Fruitville Pike in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. The body was found on the floor of the back seat, covered with trash and clothes. There was also a note that read, "Mom is in, quote, Mom is in the car. I'm sorry. Please give her a funeral. My brain is fried. My mom lied. She gave me fake money from the NA. So did my employees. I lost my mind. Forgive me, please. Call my sister." End quote.
Oh my.
His sister saw this happening that morning, saw him rambling and acting very strange, and she witnessed him get into the RAV4 and write that note and left it on the dashboard. And then he exited the vehicle. He ran when he was confronted by his sister and her husband. Police arrested him near South Main Street in Mannheim Borough. The only information we have about the autopsy is she was dead for around 30 hours when she was found. Police reported hemorrhaging at the eyes and marks around the neck, but that was what the police reported. Kevin could only be booked on abuse of a corpse and was awaiting trial in Lancaster County Prison until recently. Reported on July 18th, Kevin was transferred to Baltimore County Jail and was scheduled for a bail hearing on July 21st on 2 murder charges. The bodies of his mother's roommate and her ex-husband were found in what appeared to be a staged murder-suicide.
Oh.
He is not charged in his mother's death at this time.
So I wonder what the motive is for killing these other two people.
I mean, I don't know.
Like, you went the
And
whole way to Baltimore to do
hearing
that?
the mother lived in Maryland.
Okay. Oh, so maybe he was visiting and
So
drove
I'm
her dead
wondering,
body back up here?
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
He definitely had a mental breakdown.
But that's what I was thinking, that something mental. I can't say like anything at this point was any kind of motive of like money or anything like that.
Yeah, because I think his sister reported he was like speaking gibberish or something.
Yes, like rambling numbers and things
Yeah,
like
like
that.
speaking in numbers. Yeah. So
Yeah.
maybe he needs to be.
So he was obviously in a state of psychosis or
Yeah.
something.
So maybe he needs to go to like a mental hospital rather than prison.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the
I mean,
insanity
yeah.
plea would be kind of likely with this case, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, there wasn't like any kind of. They said that there was no information that they could access on the murders until his hearing in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Like, so there's no information we really have on that.
Right. Yeah. So we'll have to keep an eye out for what comes next.
Yes.
Next, I am discussing the disappearances of 3 men in Hanover, Pennsylvania in the months of May and June. So, for those that are not like from Pennsylvania, Hanover is in York County, which is just one county over from where I live here in Lancaster. The men are Matthew Meredith, age 41, Mark Hicks, age 38, and Ben Garrett, age 36. So it's creepy that they're all missing and all really close in age.
I also want to chime in really quick and say that not all of these cases are Pennsylvania, we promise.
Oh, yeah, it just happened to work out that way.
Because they all have been so far,
Yeah.
so I just want to make sure.
Some crazy things happening in PA
It's
right
not
now.
all of them.
If you're watching us on YouTube, you'll also like post photos of the men, or if you follow us on Instagram, we'll post their photos there too. Ben Garrett was last heard around 2 a.m. on May 21st and was also reported missing that same day. His case has the least amount of information of the 3 missing men. It seems I can't really find a whole lot on him. Dan Baumgartner, Garrett's older brother, said Ben's very outgoing. He would not sit and hide in a place for a long time. He would be seen if he was, out and about somewhere. His family is very involved in trying to get his name out there and his story out there. I did find one article about a drug charge for selling and distributing back in 2019, but I haven't seen anything current or since then, so hopefully that has nothing to do with his disappearance, but I don't know if he knows any sketchy people that could have been involved or might know where he's at. Garrett has been entered into the National Crime Information Center as a missing person, and he is still unaccounted for. At the time of his disappearance, he was 5 feet 10 inches, 170 pounds, with black hair, hazel eyes, and a black beard. If you have any information at all about him, please contact the Hanover Borough Police Department at 717-637-5575. Next is Matthew Meredith, who was last seen at a house in Hanover on Friday, June 6, 2025. I believe his mom reported him missing on Sunday, June 8th, because it wasn't like him to not contact her, so she then contacted the police. She was told he left the house and never returned, but he left his cell phone and wallet behind at the house. There's sadly not a lot of information posted about his case either, so I'm not sure exactly whose house he was at because WGAL reported in an article that he was last seen at his house, but his mom wrote on Facebook he was last seen at a house. And there's a missing person flyer for him saying the people of the residence reported he left without his belongings. So it seems more likely that he was at someone else's house where he was last seen. On June 11th, a farmer clearing brush near North Bletner Avenue in Conewago Township in Adams County came across a body. Conewago Township Police Chief Gary Baumgartner said, The farmer obviously was a little bit alarmed to find a body laying in the woods next to his field. The call originally came in as a possible cardiac arrest because he was not sure of the subject's actual condition. He didn't approach the body. The coroner later identified the deceased as Matthew Meredith. Meredith's cause of death and manner of death are pending. The Adams County coroner told WGAL in early July that it would take 8 weeks to get results, which is soon. The coroner said there were no signs of foul play and doesn't believe it was drug-related, but his death is still under investigation. So of these 3 missing men, one of them has been found, but found deceased. The other 2 are still missing. Mark Hicks is the third one. He's 38, last seen near Pleasant Avenue in Hanover on June 22nd. Family members said he left his home around 5 a.m. He was wearing a green camouflage shirt at the time. I'm not sure exactly what day he was reported missing. It seems like it may have been the 26th. Mark's family describes him as fun-loving and always keeps in contact with his family. Mark's sister-in-law, Erica Hicks, said, "Something isn't right. We are a very close-knit family. For him to just disappear and not call any of us or to stop by, he's the type to just walk up to your sidewalk and be on your porch every other week. So for him to not have any contact, we knew something wasn't right." His brother, Todd Hicks, has used drones for like 10, 12 hours at a time, flying all over trying to find Mark. Virginia Hicks, Mark's mother, said she especially feels for parents going through similar situations in the area. She's quoted saying, "My heart bleeds as a mother to my son. You never stop loving your child. From a baby in your arms at the hospital to 38 years old, that love is still there. It's the same kind of love. My heart bleeds for all those mothers whose sons are missing right now. We are keeping them in our prayers before my son went missing, and now it's even more of a fervent prayer for them to be found and hopefully come home safely." At the time of his disappearance, Mark is 5 feet 4 inches, 140 pounds, has light brown hair and blue eyes. He has tattoos on both hands and is missing a pinky on his right hand. If you have any info on Mark's disappearance, you can call the Northern York County Police Department at 717-292-3647 or the Eastern Adams Regional Police Department at 717-624-1614. There's been a lot of speculation online about a possible serial killer, but police currently are not connecting the cases. But it's pretty ironic for 3 men about the same age to all go missing around the same time with zero connection. But
yeah, I remember seeing an article on this one where these men are disappearing.
Mm-hmm. And like it's really weird.
It's very strange.
Yeah. Because you don't really that doesn't really happen around here, you know.
No, not at all.
Yeah. The only connection found
young, healthy men.
Yeah, for sure. Garrett and Hicks were friends on Facebook in 2020. Otherwise, the families say they are not aware of any connections between the 2 men. So hopefully,
yeah, but small town shit.
It is, yeah. Someone knows something.
Yeah, somebody does. They have to.
And this past weekend, there was, I think it was Mark's family. It might have been Garrett's family, I forget. But they had a little something on Saturday the 19th for people to come like help hand out flyers and stuff. And I wish I could have gone, but I was at the beach.
Aww.
That would have been nice to attend that.
Yeah.
And show support.
Aww. My last case is the Aaron Patterson trials. So, to recap, on June 29th, 2023, in I'm gonna butcher this. God darn it. Leongatha, Victoria, Australia. Erin Trudy Patterson cooked lunch for her in-laws, Don and Gail Patterson, and Erin's aunt and uncle in-laws. So there was 4 of
Okay.
them. Erin was estranged from her husband Simon, who was also invited to the lunch but did not attend. Erin prepared a delicious dinner of beef Wellington made with death cap mushrooms that all 4 of them consumed that day. The symptoms after ingesting the death cap mushrooms include feeling extremely unwell for about 24 hours and then a moment of relief before total organ
Oh
failure
my God.
and death.
A moment of relief.
3
That's
of the
scary.
4, yeah, yep, it's like a moment of like euphoric relief and then like your organs shut down and you die.
I wonder if it's a quick death.
It sounds pretty painful and drawn out,
Hmm.
but like, I mean, I personally would want it quicker than 24 hours.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, 3 of the 4 victims died. One of them even received a liver transplant, but all of them had passed away within 6
Hmm.
days. Erin was not arrested until November 2nd and charged with 3 counts of murder and 4 counts of attempted murder. Her trial began on April 29th, 2025. Um, that lasted for weeks. I think later I state it's like 11 weeks almost
Damn.
that the trials go on for.
That poor jury.
Yeah. Well, yeah, on and off, throughout the 11 weeks. So, April 29th was when they had started. The defense was alleging that Aaron had bought mushrooms at an Asian market and they were in a container in the pantry, and somehow the death cap mushrooms got into the same container into the pantry, and she cooked with them. On July 7th, 2025, after the course of 11 weeks, Aaron Patterson is found guilty of 3 counts of first degree murder and 1 count of attempted murder.
So did someone survive?
And this, yeah, the uncle-in-law is the one who survived. But this is definitely, I kind of kept it pretty vague, giving some information because I think we are definitely going to add it to our
Yeah, we'll
list
have to cover this
because,
case.
uh, yeah, there's a lot of information. I mean, not a lot. It's at least,
Like true crime
like
and dime worthy, maybe.
a medium-sized. Yeah, true crime and a dime worthy, I think, is probably where we would cover this kind of case. But it's very interesting because it was her in-laws. Like, she killed her in-laws. Like, that's her husband's parents.
Right.
Like, it wasn't even. And, like, she planned it out. Like, she
Hmm.
invited the husband,
Right.
and they had been separated since, like, 2020 or something like that.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yes. So that would be a very interesting case to
Yeah,
cover.
and a good international one to add in.
Yes, I will say that since it is international, I know you already have done one. I don't think I have done anything international. It does get a little tougher trying to find information.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. Next up is the Brian Kohberger trial. If you somehow don't know this case, in the early morning of November 13th, 2022, 4 University of Idaho students were fatally stabbed in an off-campus residence at 1122 King Road in Moscow, Idaho. No suspect was immediately named in the deaths of housemates Madison Mogan, 21, Kaylee Gonsalves, 21, Xana Kernodle, 20, and her boyfriend, Ethan Chapin, age 20. Police faced a lot of pressure from the public to solve this case early on, and thousands of tips were called into like both the police and the FBI. Preliminary autopsy results show that the 4 victims were likely attacked with a large knife and died sometime after 2 a.m. from multiple stab wounds. Police said the victims were most likely asleep when they were killed, and some of them had defensive wounds. There were no signs of sexual assault. In December of 2022, police announced that they believed the attack was targeted. On December 30th, 2022, police announced an arrest of a suspect, Brian Christopher Kohberger, age 28, a resident of Pullman, Washington, and a student at Washington State University. He has a bachelor's in psychology and a master's in criminal justice. He was arrested in northeastern Pennsylvania, another PA case, about 2,500 miles from the Idaho campus, and charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and burglary. What's up with all these Pennsylvania people doing crimes?
Yeah, what the heck?
His DNA was found on a knife sheath left behind at the scene. Police say Kohberger's Amazon purchase history shows he bought a military-style knife as well as the knife sheath found at the home. But the knife itself was never found. The prosecution planned to seek the death penalty. On July 2nd, 2025, Brian unexpectedly entered a plea deal not long before he was due to go to trial. He pled guilty to first-degree murder of all 4 students to avoid the death penalty. His sentencing will be actually tomorrow, July 23rd at 9 a.m., so be sure to tune in. Kohberger will be handed 4 consecutive life sentences for the murders, plus 10 years for burglary, according to his plea deal. Family members of the victims will be allowed to make statements, as well as Kohberger if he chooses. The public will be able to watch Kohberger's sentencing in person at the Ada County Courthouse and via live stream on their website. Kohberger's plea agreement does not require him to explain his motive, which is a big thing in this case. We still don't know why he did this. Was he targeting one person and ended up killing 4, or was he planning to kill 4? We have no idea what his motive is still.
Yeah.
His attorney, Ann Taylor, said in a statement to USA Today that his defense team will not make any comments or provide any information even after the sentencing in regards to his motive. So, I mean, I know his family, or the families of the victims, are kind of split on this plea agreement. Some of them are okay with it, and then some of them are very unhappy with it and wanted him to go to trial. And have the opportunity to be convicted of the death penalty. But, I mean, going to trial doesn't guarantee that at the same time. At least here he's guaranteed life in prison. But I can see it both ways.
It doesn't. I can too, but also, like, if we're gonna have a fucking justice system and pay for it, let's fucking use it for what we're supposed to be using it for.
But also at the same time, it would spare all the victims' families of the gruesome details too. Not having to go to trial.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I do see both sides.
And, like, in his studies, there was, like, a survey he created for his criminal justice program about, like, people that have committed crimes, and there was, like, questions he would ask. And there was, like, some weird questions in there. Like, I remember one of them being something like, how did you feel, like, before you committed the crime and after? And, like, things like that. And so I'm just wondering if this was all, like, a big experiment to him.
Yeah, it's kind of gross.
Yeah. Because we don't know what the motive was. We don't know if he knew any of the people, because he's at a totally different college. This is Idaho. He's going to school in Washington.
Yeah. Yeah, but then he winds up taking 4 people.
Yeah. So I'm just like, was this like some weird experiment to him? And if you see pictures of him, his eyes are kind of creepy looking, like there's nothing there. But then when he talked because I watched the plea hearing, and like he sounds like a totally normal person. It's weird. And he acted really polite during the hearing. So, I don't know.
Hmm.
Guess we'll see
That's
what
extra creepy.
happens tomorrow.
Yeah. I'll have to tune in for that.
Mm-hmm. It's 9 a.m. Idaho time. I think that's what, is that
I can't
2
math,
hours
whatever
behind
that
or
is.
3?
No.
It might be 2 hours behind.
Yeah, 2 hours behind.
Yeah.
2 hours
Yeah.
behind. Yeah.
Well, thank you for tuning in to Lurking in the News 5. If you come across any...
Yeah, I can't believe we're on 5.
Yeah. If you come across any, like, crazy news cases where you're from and you want us to share them, send them our way.
Yeah, maybe they will be in the next episode.
Yeah.
So make like a shadow and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at
Lurking in the Shadows podcast.
check us out on TikTok at
Lurking in the Shadows pod.
Don't chuckle at me. If you have any questions, concerns, or case suggestions, send us a Gmail at
Lurking in the Shadows podcast at gmail.com. And keep lurking around for our next episode. Bye.